Protects my heart.
Alright, so for the drifting part of the comparison, basically what I'm going to do is bring both of the cars here to the airport, or airstrip, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to just basically drift all around, like, the whole place, and come to a conclusion on which one feels better, which one feels easier to get sideways, which one feels easier to hold angle in, which one is easier to kind of toss side to side between drifts. And, I mean, you may have a totally different opinion than I do for this portion of the comparison, but how a driver prefers a car to drift or go sideways is totally subjective to every driver. It's not a broad thing, I guess you could say. And when we get into an area that's a little bit more open, we'll be able to go a bit more sideways. Hopefully. Alright, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Oh god, I had no idea that actually went to grass. That makes no sense. Makes no sense why they would have a door leading to grass, but whatever, I'll deal with it. definitely one of the things you can tell right off the bat about the C7 is that it's not hard to drift it, but you do have to, in stock form at least, you have to kind of work for it a little bit, because the rear end is really sticky, so you kind of have to set up your corners ahead of time and think ahead a little bit, because you have got to be in the power band when you try to kick the tail end of the car out. There's no other option for you, really. I mean, it's not like you can just say, I'm not sure I want to drift this spot, maybe I will, maybe I won't, and then decide midway through. No, you have to set it up in your mind beforehand. You got to be like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you got to set it up in your mind beforehand. Otherwise, you're not going to, okay, plane, ooh, okay. Thankfully, we didn't lose our combo for that, but, like I said, you have to set it up beforehand, because if you don't, then you'll end up, basically bogging down pretty much. And yes, I did mean to do a couple of laps around that pillar. That wasn't a mistake at all! And since a lot of you guys requested more first-person, I'm going to be doing the majority of these tests in first-person view. However, I will do a little bit of third-person just for a little while. In fact, I'll do that now, just to get a little bit of exterior perspective for you guys. But as you can see, it's most at home at higher revs when it's sideways, and you do have to kind of think ahead a little bit. I mean, it's not down on power by any means, but it works best if you think ahead. I mean, I feel like I kind of said it a little bit of the wrong way earlier, because I probably made it sound like it was hard to get this thing sideways, because it's not. It's an easy car to get sideways, but if you want to do it, if you want to make the car actually flow from drift to drift, you do have to, like I said, have to think about it and set it up in your head a little bit beforehand, or at least really know how the car kind of flows. I've had some practice with this car before, so it comes a little bit easier to me with this car now, but I definitely think that in the beginning, especially when you're drifting this thing in stock form, you have to have a little bit of an idea of how the car will react, because it won't always save you. Although the balance is really, really nice. It's very predictable, but if you get it wrong, you are kind of on your own with this car if you get it wrong, but it takes a lot to actually get it to that point, to actually get it to where you know you're going to get it wrong. It takes a lot to get it to that point because of how stable it is. I mean, I'll just show you guys how stable it is. I mean, you can see how little steering input I'm having to put in, and it's extremely, extremely stable. I'm just correcting a little bit here and there, just every once in a while, and it just keeps going, keeps going. I mean, you could do it on a wide circle, you could do it on a small circle, like just going around this little pillar here. But the best thing about drifting the C7, especially stock, is the precision that you get. It's extremely, extremely precise, and it allows you to, like I said, if you work for it, it allows you to place it wherever you want. You can place this car absolutely wherever you want. But that concludes my drift test of the C7, and now we're going to move on to the F-Type. Alright, so we're now in the F-Type for the drift test, and as with the C7, this is going to be focused on how the car feels, how it transitions, how it actually feels when it's getting sideways, how it feels at angle, basically how it feels and how comfortable it feels when it's actually sideways. So, let's go ahead and get this started. And right off the bat, you notice that it is very good at burnouts. Definitely doesn't feel as sticky as the C7, that's for sure. Well, avoid the plane. Not really, we kind of caught the wing, but yeah, it definitely feels a lot more tail-happy than the C7 did. Now, granted, this has more power than the base C7, not the C7 Z06, but that's not in the game, so we're not concerned about it. But, oh, there we go. But, this definitely feels a lot more tail-happy due to the power, obviously, due to the power output than the C7 does. And although, even though it's more tail-happy, I'm not sure quite yet as to whether I feel it's more precise as the C7. The C7, while it is very brutal, and I wouldn't say, well, not very brutal, but it is brutal in some senses, and it's kind of classed as one of those kind of sledgehammer-style cars. It's more of a fine and accurate sledgehammer, if that makes any sense. Whereas this is just an outright sledgehammer that does nothing but like to hit things. This car was not made to be precise. It was made to be a total hoonigan, and that's what, as we can see, that's what it's good at. I mean, if you build the C7 up, yeah, you can make it just as extremely tail happy as this is. But go away. Anyway, the GPS lady. Anyway, the whole deal with this car is that, yes, you could make it, you know, effective as like a grip car or something, but when it comes to doing what it was built for, it's just at home, right here, doing this. This is what this car was built for, and I said this in my original review, but I have every reason to say it again, because that's just the long and short of it with this car! Oh my god! Okay, so it didn't take points off for that. I will, wow, okay, I am very grateful for that. I do not know, what went wrong in the whole Forza system, but I'm good with it. I'll take it. And yeah, the more you take this thing sideways, the more you want to take it sideways. It's a car that just makes you want to do more, and more, and more, and more, and just keep drifting it more, and more, and more. There's really nothing that this car doesn't like as far as drifting related stuff goes. I mean, you just go down the runway and throw the thing from side to side. Ooh, come on. Bring it around. There we go. Keep this combo going. Ah, dang it. Oh, well, decent combo, though. But as you can see, we can just go down the runway, swing the car from side to side, and it'll just go with it. No matter what you do, it'll just go with it. You can say, I don't feel like countersteering right now, and just kind of, you know, run into one of the hangars and just get a little bit of a drift going in there, and then be like, well, I'm done. And then just leave the hangar and go back to your shenanigans on the runway. It's just brilliant. Alright guys, so this is going to be the C7's speed trap run. Now how the speed trap runs are going to work is we're going to basically, we're going to take a few runs, and then we're going to take the best run out of those few runs. Let's make it 3 runs. We're going to take 3 runs and take the best top speed out of those 3 runs, and we'll see what we get. Now, launch plays a big part in this, shifting plays a big part in this, so that's why I'm giving each car 3 chances to set a record. Not really a record, but you guys get the picture. Come on. 155, come on. And trap speed was 174.6. Alright, for run number 2, we're going to be doing it outside the car this time. I feel like we were cheated a little bit because we had to get out of the way of that Drivatar because he wasn't going to move, that's for sure. 174.55. Not too bad. Almost dead on with the last run. Alright, so for the third and final run, we're going to be inside the car for this one, and let's see what we get. That bowler almost took me out. I would have been mad. I would have been really mad. This is my last run out of the 3. Hopefully the best one as well. $174.84. That was the best run. Out of the 3, so let's say, actually, yeah, that was 174 178.84, so nearly 175 miles an hour. So next up is the F-Type, and we'll see what that posts. Now, for the speed trap challenge in the F-Type, we're actually having to deal with rain, so the launch is going to be probably a little bit tricky, but we'll see what we actually make as far as trap speed. And like we did in the C7, we're going to run this 3 times, give it 3 chances to set its best top speed, or well, not top speed, but trap speed, and we'll see how it goes. Bit of an iffy launch, spun second and third, well, a little bit of third. Come on! Come on! 177.31. That's our first attempt with a bad launch, and that's already better than the best run that the C7 actually put in. But nonetheless, we'll see what we get out of a top 3. All right, so for our second run, the rain actually stopped, and we're going to be doing the second run from the third-person perspective, and then the third run we're going to do in the first-person perspective again. So we're going to try and get a bit of a better launch this time and see how that goes. Don't you dare hit me! All right, we're good. Wow, listen to that supercharger whine. Into 6th. Boom! 178.49. Sweet! Alright, for the third run, what we've learned from the first couple of runs is that it's not just controlling the wheel spin in first gear that we have to think about, we also have to think about controlling it in second, because if we're not careful about it, we'll spin all the way through second. So let's not only keep an eye on the launch, but also keep an eye on the power we're applying in second gear. There we go. The launch wasn't brilliant, but the change from first to second was pretty good. Passing 150. Well, already passed 160 into 6th. 170. $178.35. Not too bad. Not too bad at all as far as the top speed department goes. I think this thing put in a really good performance. So did the C7. This was just a little bit of a notch above it as far as the trap speed goes, but after this point, we're gonna go ahead and head to the handling test. All right, guys. So for the handling test, we're gonna actually put the cars up against each other on a specific speed zone. Now, the starting point is gonna be right here at this sign. It's gonna be marked by that sign, and I'll show you where it is on the map. Basically, what we're gonna be doing is, if I zoom in here, we're gonna actually be heading up this way around this corner. Staying to this side of the roundabout, working our way up this little section, going through this speed zone here, and this is not a speed trap, this is an actual speed zone. We'll wind up through these hairpins and finish at the end of the speed zone. And whichever car clocks the faster time in the speed zone out of 3 attempts, then that car will be the winner of the handling challenge. Now, like I said, there will be more different ways that I'll be able to grade these cars later on in the future. I'll find different roads and better spots and things like that. But keep in mind, this is the first battle we've done, so we're still kind of working things out. So, let's go ahead and send the C7 Stingray on its first run. Let's first actually, yeah, we're right about there. Right about there. I'll just make sure the F-Type is in the same place. So, let's go ahead and we'll run the first one in interior, the second one in exterior, and then the third one in interior again. Around the first corner, staying to the inside. Keeping it all together. Powering through. Avoiding the AI traffic. Speed zone started. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, and brake! Down to second, down to first, staying way to the inside. Little bit of tail out action on the exit, but we're good to go. Speed zone 61.14. So we'll go ahead and we will run that again, and we'll actually run it 2 more times and see what kind of results we get at it for our best run. Alright, run number 2, take 2, due to a drivatar slamming into me halfway through the run. A little bit of a sound glitch there. That was weird. Horizon 2 has sound glitches every now and again. Just, I don't know, it's weird sound glitches that happen specifically with the engine, or the engine sound, exhaust sound, whatever you want to... a little bit off the road. Maybe we can recover it. I don't know. Jeez, Viper, that's the same Viper that hit me going down, or going up in the original run. 60.15, so not quite what we had on the first time around. I do much better as far as grip-focused driving goes when I'm in first person, so now it's time for the third run. Alright guys, third run, first person view, let's do this. Launch wasn't quite as good as some of the previous attempts, but off to a good start otherwise. Just get around this Raptor. Trying to keep it balanced, powering out into second. Staying in it as long as possible. I'm braking. Braked a little too early. Little tail happy on the way out.
You have arrived.
Alright, 162.15. That was our best run out of the 3. Alright, setting off in the F-Type in 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh, come on, traffic. Jeez! Luckily, that's not a timed part of the run. The turn-in is... oh, God. The turn-in is nowhere near as good as the C7. The C7 definitely takes the F-Type on turn-in. There was that sound glitch again. I'm gonna have to, I don't know if I wouldn't say I can't count this one, but, I mean, we did a 57.17, but I don't want to say if I can count that one or not. I mean, I'm gonna count it as one of the attempts, but we'll definitely, hopefully be seeing higher numbers after we, run the next two runs, due to AI traffic. Alright, run number 2, third-person view, and hopefully less traffic. Trying to keep it in second. It worked okay, I want to say, but it still doesn't feel as aggressive as the C7. Get to the inside and then power out.
You have arrived at your
Put in a 59.91 on the second run, with a lot less traffic, so that definitely goes to show how much of a difference the traffic made. Alright, first person view, third and final run. Let's go. And launch. Whoa, okay.
You have arrived.
61.38. So it actually turned out to be a really even battle. The F-Type won the runway shootout, and the C7 won the handling challenge. Now, the C7 won the handling challenge only by a little bit, just by a tiny little bit, but even so, it really feels a lot stickier and a lot more precise in the corners. But I think since one of the cars won the straight line event, and the other car won the handling event, and the drifting is really all about personal choice, these two cars, are so similar that it really comes down to personal choice and personal preference when it comes to these cars. And that's up to you guys to decide. Which one would you guys have? Let me know in the comment section below, and we'll see which one actually gets more votes. So, and also, if you guys want to suggest any more battles, feel free to do that as well, and I will see you guys in the next one.